Can a ring make you ultra human? Well, if you consider empowering yourself with data and tailor customized health insights and weekly reports and free tools like meditation, then yes. In today's busy and fast-paced world, there's no shortage of information, but how do you make sense of it all? And how does that apply to you? How well are you sleeping? Are you getting enough vitamin D? How many calories are you burning? What do you need to feel better? What's your cardio aid? If you're like me and you like optimizing your life and your health, then stay tuned because this ring may be exactly what you're looking for. This is the Ultrahuman Air Ring. I have in fact been considering getting a smart ring, so an Ultrahuman contacted me and asked if I wanted to get a ring and test it out. Well, I said, sure, send it to me. So disclaimer, they did send this to me for review, but they are not paying me for the review. So this is the Ultrahuman ring. It costs $349 USD. They ship worldwide with free shipping. I do have some exclusive discounts for my viewers in the description down below. Purchasing through those links costs you nothing extra. You actually save a bit of money, and it's a great way to support the channel. So this ring comes in 5 different colors. I have the matte gray, which is kind of like a dark gray black slate type of color. It's been holding up really well. In fact, the 2 finishes that hold up really well are, according to what I've asked them, according to what I've read on Reddit and other forums, and according to my own experience, is definitely the matte gray. So all the other finishes that are not the raw titanium and the matte gray are going to be more prone to scratches because it is a shiny material. If you are worried about the finish, I would go with the titanium or the matte gray. It is excellent at hiding scuffs. Once in a while, you will notice a scuff happen, but you can easily just rub your finger on it and it's gone, which I at this point don't even do because a few days later or even the next day I look at it and just normal use, there's no more scuff. I haven't had a single scuff stick around in any type of visible way so far. And also, I have noticed on the ring there is a very little concaveness on the profile of the ring, which could help with scuffing depending on how you hit an object or surface with your hand. The ring is made out of hypoallergenic materials. My skin is very sensitive to cheap metals and to all sorts of things, and I haven't had any problems with this ring. When you first get the ring, you actually get this ring kit size. This is really helpful with determining your sizing as well as color. I've looked at all the other smart rings, and something that you will notice is unfortunately they do not have half sizes. So they have ring sizes going from 5 to 14. What I suggest that you do, test it out on different fingers and keep in mind that depending on the physical activity you're doing, depending on how bloated you are, depending on the time of the day, your fingers will swell. And if you live somewhere like me where there are 4 very distinct seasons, keep that in mind because your fingers are going to shrink a little bit in the winter. So in my case, I put it on my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand, and the middle finger, which is a little bit slimmer than my index finger. Right now, it's tail end of summer. I got this product maybe midsummer. It's very snug. It's quite difficult to get in and out of my knuckle, but I can still manage to get it out. It's a bit more slippery on this. My fit was a little bit different with the sizers. So don't be surprised if there's a little bit of a variation, but once again, everybody's different. Choosing a or multiple fingers that it could be versatile on is important to factor in. They also have a trade-in program, so if you want to upgrade your Ultrahuman ring, if you had the R1, or if you're switching from the Aura rings, and the trade-in is great as well because it can reduce a little bit of waste. When they receive it, they clean it, and they're able to generally recycle the titanium shell to use in other rings. And they also inform me that their company is compliant regarding e-waste regulations. Test the ring you think is the right fit for about 2 weeks just to get a good feel for the size, and then you order the real ring in the finish and the size that you need. Because you have a snug fit, it can be a little difficult to take out. If I have access to water, I use water. If not, I use my breath if I really have to remove the ring. But what does help is pushing at the bottom and then kind of wiggling it out. There we go. It's not quite a perfect circle at the bottom. There's actually where the sensors are, and that is important to be palm side where it can actually read your body temperature and that there's a bit more blood circulating and stuff. So that goes on the bottom. If it flips around, you're likely to miss some readings, and you'll see that in the app. One thing I do wish that they actually did have on the ring was some sort of visual indicator, a dot or a line, an etching that went on the bottom of the ring of where the tracker and sensor is. That way I could easily look at the ring and figure out if it is in the right place, or even if I had a tactile feel to it, I could easily fidget with it probably and also rearrange the ring and rotate it so that it is the right side up. Sometimes you'll see a green glow and that's like the sensor doing its thing, and then I can see if it's the right side or not and then rotate it. Otherwise, I have to kind of look at it and see where the black square is, where the sensor is, and then rearrange it. Definitely wish that they fix that in a V2. But what I will probably do is etch it somehow. Personally, I wanted to go for a smart ring because I don't want another screen in my face and to be distracted by something else. And also I like that it's subtle. You can't really tell that it's a smart ring. On top of it, according to Ultrahuman, a smart ring is actually more accurate than a smartwatch because there's more blood flowing. But keep in mind that only works if you have the correct orientation and that the sensors are on the palm side. Who would this ring really be for? I would say it's all sorts of people. It's people looking to optimize their health, people that are curious about their health data, people on their health journey, and especially people that want something a bit more automated and hands-off. There are some things that you can do in the app and set up workouts and stuff like that to track. You also may not be able to use this with every single activity out there. So if you're doing strength training, like you're using dumbbells and you're doing deadlifts or anything that you have to grip the hand, this can be an issue because you may have to remove it. Or let's say if you do some sort of gymnastics or pole dancing, you're going to have to remove the ring. It is extremely hands-off, which is what I love about this. It gives you a lot of notifications, sometimes a little bit too much. Like you can't manage which notifications you receive and not, which is something I did comment to them. And hopefully that's something that they'll include in the future. I don't find it that much of an issue because I have a minimalist app launcher that consolidates all of the notifications. So I just see this giant panel with all my notifications, or read them real quick, and then clear all of them in one shot. They do have notifications sometimes that it will detect that you've been outside. When you open your app, it doesn't matter. It could be much, much later and it'll go, hey, we noticed that you might have been outside at this time. Is this true? And then you say yes or no. Usually it's pretty correct. And then it will add it to your vitamin D exposure in my case because I had turned it on with the power plug, which was free. There's also very little initial setup. You can pretty much start the app, enter a couple of things, your age, your weight, if you're female or male, very simple, then you're up and running. Speaking of data, the bottom of the app, they do mention that your data is encrypted, it's 100% safe, they do not sell your data, so you can view that information on the app. I will also link it in the description so that you can read their privacy policy about that. Regarding the battery life, it takes about 2 hours to fully charge. The charger is also beautiful, and the light pulses. There's no audible feedback. The cord that comes with the charger is also super high quality. I was quite pleasantly surprised. You will not break that anytime soon. And they also do have a travel case, which I want to get my hands on so that you can top it up, because the battery life is about 4 to 6 days. I would say has been lasting pretty much the 4 to 7 days that they suggest. I've seen other rings go a slightly more than that, but I thought I would have this ring for a whole week and then recharge it, but in the end it ends up that you charge it periodically, and it's actually better to not let it fully degrade and not even charge it to 100%. So I kind of just got in a habit of every few days taking it off and putting it in my charger. I thought it would be kind of annoying to do that, but it's really not, considering you pretty much have to charge your phone every day anyway. And having the charger conveniently located where you're kind of spending some downtime, but you're awake because you want to capture the sleeping data, have it somewhere convenient is my suggestion. They also do recommend partial charging to keep the battery between 30% and 80%. At 30%, you do get a notification on your phone that your battery is running low. Recently, I did have some issues with the ring, which they identified was due to a recent firmware update. And then they subsequently walked me through the troubleshooting of it on the chat that you can do through the app, which is super convenient. It's super quick, they're very responsive, there's always someone to answer you, and it's not copy-paste answers. The least frustrating, fastest troubleshooting I've dealt with customer service. Hopefully they can keep that up as they continue to scale. Something happened with my ring with that firmware because then after a couple of tries, they said, okay, we're just gonna send you a new one. So my new one's already on the mail. I got the shipping notification today, actually. Let us now go through the app, because that is one of the most important parts of this whole thing, because this ring is nothing without the app. It literally is just a ring. Okay, so this is your home page. Your movement every or almost every card has a panel of information. You start out your day as 100, and as they notice you're not really moving that much, it does go down. For now, movement does not take into account other physical activities like biking, for example, because my hands are not moving when I'm biking. You can also see your stress rhythm score. It is also based on 100. Doesn't say it's based on 100, but I did ask them that question. They give you all the information on what that means. Stimulated stress, you have relaxed. Over here on the bottom, this graph, you can see when you're sleeping by clicking on different parts. A little hard to fully get an exact spot. That's not bad actually. That's good. I was in a relaxed state for 53% of the day. That's great. But like they said, not all stress is bad. Over here, you can see you have relax with breath work. So it tells you here what it does. It decreases your heart rate. It increases your heart rate variability, or other times it increases your temperature. And you have something to walk through, which I really do like, because I used to go on YouTube and have to find my video for that, but now I can just go in this app, then it'll track and it'll add to your timeline as well when you complete it. So that's pretty cool. Let's go to box breathing. You inhale, and there's some visual guides. So you inhale, and then exhale. Hold my breath. And then exhale for 4. That's why it's a box. Hold the breath, and then inhale. And then it starts tracking, and each one's a little bit different depending on the need. The little plus icon here, you can also access breath work here. We have dynamic recovery. Dynamic recovery is a recovery score to your overall well-being, how quickly you recover. And here there's like gaps. And, you know, when I was explaining that the ring is not really in the right location and not really detecting, or your battery runs out. That's why there's gaps. And then it'll do its best to fill in with the dotted lines. Now the data will keep on the ring for as long as the battery doesn't die, and then you go into the app and then it refreshes and syncs your data. And at the bottom, you'll see a little green progress bar. You can always pull to refresh. Sleep is an interesting one. It gives you a little bit of a description of what's going on and how much you slept. I really did not sleep well yesterday, as you can tell. And then it gives you a sleep score on 100. That was not a good sleep score. How much time you slept, how many deep sleep cycles you have, how long you were in bed for. You can keep clicking and reading further, and then they give you a bunch of suggestions. Slept a bit better on this day, 4 full sleep cycles. I slept for almost 7.5 hours, had good restorative sleep. Then it shows your average for the last 7 days, even compared to the community. You can see the sleep stages, also how much you move. I don't know if this is a lot of movement or not a lot of movement. I've been known to be a very active sleeper. I think I burn a lot of my calories then. And how low your heart rate goes, morning alertness, all sorts of information, tosses and turns during the sleep, very interesting. Every 3 weeks you get a notification your weekly report is done. You also get it in your inbox, an email. And then if I go on Monday, every 3 weeks, I get a report. It compares my current week with the last 2 weeks to just see the overall trends and patterns and see how things are going. This is really cool. I like reading my reports real quick to just see overview. If you go to your profile under Insights, you can view all of your different weekly reports there. And also, while I'm on this section, you can chat with a representative and just speak with them directly in here. And they're really quick to answer, like within minutes. And even if that representative goes away, another representative comes. Like, you're not talking to a bot. Continuing on with sleep debt. This is where they give you some insight. This is when you should sleep based on your own personal trends and habits, and what time I go to bed, what time I wake up. And then you have your active heart rate, temperature. You can set up SMART goals as well. I set up wake up early, which I don't even know why I do that, because I never really manage it, and I don't really care to wake up early. I just set that up for fun. So you can set up different things. In the timeline section, you can add a couple of things. So you can add activities after the fact, which I have done a few times, but then you have to remember, like if I'm biking, I have to remember, this is a physical activity that I added manually in the timeline through the plus button and then activity. All that you get is this. You get your average BPM, you can see a little bit of time scale, and then you have a little tracking for yourself. If you wanna be really more accurate about your tracking, you can actually click the workout button. On the main homepage, I can press plus, and then start my workout. And I can choose my workout, start, my workout, my heart rate. It'll show on a map what I did, how far I went. So that's really interesting. It's way more rich data. So if you are somebody that works out regularly, that is something that you may want to consider. You would need to bring your phone with you to track continuously, as it's using the GPS on your phone for that. See your active hours here. In my case, it really looks like I'm not the most active. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not great. You get your total calories, your active and rate, your resting, you get your workout frequency, which in my case is showing 0, which is not true. And the app is saying that it's true. They'll also add information in these. I think these are also the same as the notifications that you get. They also give you suggestions on like when you should taper off caffeine so that you can sleep well. And I would say that the time that they suggest of when I should taper off, it's pretty much the time that I figured out through, unfortunately, trial and error when I should taper off coffee, because it can disrupt my sleep. And they were very, very close to that time frame. So I don't know how they managed to figure that data. You can also access breathwork here. Then you have different events that you can add here manually. You can track your food in here. CBD oil. We're not at that time yet. So I could add a note like that. You can add your own custom notes too with the other. You can put whatever you want in there. If I want to remove it, I can click on it. Normally you would just go in there and there would be a remove button. There's also some really interesting things like power plugs. I activated the vitamin D one. There is no auto schedule currently, but I did ask them as well for when it's winter versus summer. So you would just need to manually change it in the app when the seasons change, because obviously the sun's gonna be different. Then there's all sorts of other power plugs, and a lot of these are free. You can pay for some. Oh, jet lag, that'll be interesting. That one I want. Ooh, that will be helpful for traveling, like when I should go to bed and stuff, probably. That is a new discovery that I'm making right now. There are also other items that you can buy from them that's additional, and like things that you can stick on your body, like the M1, Ultrahuman M1. It's a biosensor of some sort. They're things that you can attach to the app. So this becomes a real big health tracking app. Then there's something called Zone. You can share your scores with friends or set up zones for group sharing. So it's really great if you are on a weight loss journey with your friend or trying to do step challenge with your friends, and you could track all that there. On the Discover page, there's tons of free resources, reading material, podcasts, music, bedtime story. I really like the hands-off nature of this, and you could be as involved or as little involved with your health tracking with Ultrahuman. They update quite often, and since getting the product maybe like 2 months ago to now, there's been a lot of updates. Like the vitamin D power plug was new, movement tracking was a bit better. Like it's just, every time I open the app, I feel like there's a new feature. So that's really excellent. One thing I do want to bring up, because it's probably going to be asked, is how does this compete with other rings like Oura or Galaxy from Samsung? I think the Oura is on a subscription, so that's already a different product. This is a one-time purchase with no subscription right now, and I hope that they don't change that. From what I understand, they don't have plans to. They have all these other products, the paid-on add-ons like the biosensors and all these other things like the glucose monitor that will be for purchase. I think those may have subscription. One of the bigger advantages I would say with this product is they're really adding a lot of updates and features. You can use this iOS and Android, whereas Samsung is exclusively an Android platform phone. So if you are an iOS user and you don't want subscription model, this is absolutely a good ring for you. It's also a little bit cheaper, and they also have more finishes to choose from. Hopefully that gave you a general overview of what you can expect with this ring in the app. The app is really clean. The UI, I love it. It's very simple to understand, to dig in to whatever you want to dig into. So you can go as far or as overview as you wish. Would this be for health enthusiasts, someone on their fitness journey, someone that wants a hands-off approach, someone that wants to just optimize their overall health? I really want that jet lag power plug. Somebody that wants some guidance and cues on their health, especially if you are new to your health journey and you don't have that much information and it's so overwhelming. You just want to make your life easier. This is a good step in that direction because it will guide you in that, and you can just start and then improve and educate yourself slowly. I would definitely use this as a complementary to health. I don't know how accurate this is. I think all of these products, not exclusive to this, their accuracy is, depends and may not be touching your skin perfectly, but I think this is just a great step in that direction. I think it'll also give you some insights that maybe you could share with your doctor depending on what you're tracking or what health concerns you have. So that's just one more tool in your tool belt. I have really enjoyed using this for the sleep. I even discovered as I was going through the app right now, additional information that I either missed, but I suspect that they added after, like sleep movement and the tossing and stuff like that. I don't think I saw it at the beginning. The product has only gotten better in the short time I had it, and I can only see it getting even better, which I love. If you're interested in getting yourself one, do leave a comment, ask any of your questions. I'm curious to know what your health journey is. If you are into your health, you can actually check out this product right here that you may enjoy. This is a great little massage gun. I did a whole week festival once that was really intensive on my body, and this thing saved me. This video may also be of interest to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.